the end of the programme we're going to dedicate to, mostly, James Donoghue, a fifth-year student at Holy Rosary College. Good morning to you, James. How are you getting on?
I'm good now. How are you?
Good to have you in the show. You are a transition year student at the moment, aren't you?
No, I'm a fifth-year student.
Fifth-year student, okay. Yeah. Right, good stuff. Tell us about this initiative of yours. It's Know Your Phone. It's a book.
Yeah, so basically it's a smartphone guidebook, and it teaches people how to use a smartphone. It starts off the beginner aspects, like the different parts of the phone, and then it moves on to making calls, texts, and then to more advanced aspects, like joining a Zoom meeting and sending an email.
So is it a case that this would be very good then for people who would call themselves technophobes? You know, they haven't used a phone yet, and, you know, they're probably more used to reading, so they can read about how they can use their phone. Is that kind of the thought process here, or what is it, James?
The whole idea came from my own granny, who actually got a phone last Christmas, and she was finding it hard to use, and I started writing out notes for her. And then when the student enterprise competition came along, so that was in September, we were struck for an idea, and that competition is where students around Ireland think we make our own businesses and we go into a competition, and then it goes all the way up to All Ireland. So you have county, provincial, and then All Ireland. And I was struck for an idea. So myself, there's two of us in it. So there's myself, James Donoghue, and Paul Mannion, and we come up with this idea to help as many people as we can with the smartphone. Now, when we started off, we kind of thought, well, the people who are buying this book are people who won't know anything about smartphones. But actually, it's turned out that there's people who have had a smartphone for years, and they've saw the book and they're like, whoa, there's stuff in this book that, you know, I don't know, I've never heard of.
And I'm thinking, you know, even well. I'm just picking up my phone here, looking at it, and, you know, there's a lot of stuff we take for granted. On the side of it, there's a fingerprint sensor, and there's a power button, and there's a volume button. Now, I know that, but there's nothing to tell me that that's there. I just know that because I use phones. You know, it's presumed that I know. Even on a remote control for a TV, you know, it has the volume controls. You can see with your eyes what to do. But on a phone, a lot of that, really most basic stuff is not explained.
Yeah, well, in the book itself, we kind of like we touched on the internet, making calls, making texts. We kind of like the book kind of starts off with the beginner things, and then it kind of builds its way up, you know, to more advanced things. Because, you know, maybe some people wouldn't have the interest, you know, they just want to make a phone call, a text. We have like Zoom, WhatsApp, because I know at the moment with COVID, you know, a lot of people can't talk to family abroad, and I've got a lot of good feedback saying we can use this now. We're talking to family in America, and, you know, it's going good.
Yeah, all right. And Zoom is actually, I think, overcomplicated, but maybe that's the I use it all the time. We're doing it right now. I think WhatsApp or video calls via Facebook or Telegram simpler, but Zoom can be perhaps more complicated than it needs to be. And as well as that, you know, you talked about your own grandparents there. You know, not everyone wants to be sort of taught a certain way by saying, now you do this and now you do that. They want to be empowered and say, right, I'll get the book, I'll learn it myself, I can learn it. You know, a lot of people want that that process themselves to be gone through.
Yeah, even my own granny herself, she kind of felt like she was annoying me, or constantly coming with the phone.
Was she?
This is working, yeah.
Was she annoying you?
No, not really, no. I do anything for her now.
I know. Sorry, Granny, I'm only joking. But she felt that she was being a nuisance.
Yeah, sort of. And then she has the book now, so she can do herself, and anything extra, then she can come to me. She kind of has me whenever she needs me, you know.
All right, okay. And as you say, you know, this is not just for an older generation. It's presumably people who just use it for the basic things, you know, the people that might just still use the Nokia 9010 or whatever it might be, that if they want to learn and to understand more about the workings of the phone, this would help them as well.
Yeah, like the stuff there, and like the Google Maps app, like a lot of people don't know that's available on the phone. And
amazing.
That's brilliant.
Google Lens is absolutely brilliant. You know, if you've bought something and you don't know where you can buy it from again, you know, like I employed it for it's a stupid thing, but it was a little toy for Hudson, my son. Can't get it anywhere. One was sold in a shop, but you put Google Lens it, take the picture, and it lists very similar looking images and where you can buy it. You know, something so simple like that there. And I only discovered Google Lens in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and it's just things like that, like people don't know about, and they're great benefits on the phone, you know, because the phone has so much benefits that people don't really know about. QR
code reading as well, you know, people find that writing very small. You point it if there's a QR code there, and it pops up and brings you to a website or puts the password into your phone for Wi-Fi or whatever it might be. Lots of different things. But it also can be just simply about texting, WhatsApping and all that kind of stuff. Listen, fair play to you. It's called Know Your Phone. It's a book. It's just €12. That's including postage. And how do people get their hands on it if they want to, James?
At the moment we're taking, what we're doing is we're taking post orders and checks in the post, and then when I receive that payment, then they'd have their address in that envelope and I'd send the book on to them straight away.
Fantastic. Okay. And what's the reaction been like so far? I don't know how long it's been out. Hopefully, interviews like this will help, but...
Yeah, it's been out now about 3 weeks, and it's kind of more locally around Galway here, and we've sold 75 of them. So I wasn't expecting that much at all. So I'm kind of ordering more in now at the moment.
That's
quite doing very well. I'm very impressed with it.
All right, well done. And it's a great idea. And, this is just one idea you have as a business student. Anything else in the offing? I mean, what else? Could you do one for a microwave?
Yeah, or even thinking of doing...
or a washing machine. Do one for me for a washing machine. I can't keep putting it on the 59 minutes all the time. But I'm joking to some extent, James. But this is something that you could do a series of things with.
Yeah, it is, because we looked into the laptop option, and and even the tablets. There's so many different things out there that we can hopefully work into.
All right, listen, fair play to you. Well done. It's you, and are you working with a guy called Paul? Is it?
Yeah, Paul Mannion.
All right, well done to the two of you. It's a good thing.
Thanks very much.
And we have your details if people want to contact that number to